a startling revelation has emerged from UK. A former diplomat has told MPs that a Chinese link tracking device was discovered in the UK Prime Minister's official car, transmitting data through a cellular module. The claim has reignited concerns over foreign surveillance, supply chain vulnerabilities and the extent of Chinese tech penetration into the critical government systems. The alleged device was reportedly found inside a sealed vehicle component supplied through manufacturing chain. Experts warn that the modern vehicles increasingly rely on connected electronic modules, creating new vulnerabilities. The incident raises a critical question. Can trusted government vehicles become intelligence collection platform without drivers even knowing? One of the biggest mysteries remain unresolved. The discovery dates back to 2022, a year in which UK saw 3 different prime ministers, Boris Johnson, Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak. While the source claims a senior government figure confirmed whose vehicle was involved, authorities have not publicly identified the individual or released further details. Sir, I'm not going to ask you the cliche, is our Prime Minister's cavalcade safe, but what does this revelation tell us?
Oh, it's a very, very interesting case. And I think for a common man, you must understand that this geolocator, which is embedded through a supply chain, has 3 basic parts. One is the GPS receiver, which receives signals from the satellites. Second is the SIM card. You know, it's like the SIM card in your phone, and it sends the location to a remote server through a mobile network. And third is the microprocessor. It's a small computer that controls everything and then it sends you location from time to time. So what does it do? It's not a bugging device. It sends the location. Now, location, if the location is given latitude and longitude, and you can understand, Prime Minister goes to North Block 1045, meets the Army Chief 2 p.m. at residence, goes to the war room at 8 o'clock. It gives you a veritable data in about a week's time or a fortnight's time, where you can use it excellently for espionage or any kind of anti-national activities. So I think this has revealed one of the biggest vulnerabilities, as you rightly said, in the world supply chains. Now, you know, Karthikeya, this, I was trying to find out which vehicle could it be. It could be a Range Rover, they say, Jaguar Range Rover. It was being made in Britain. Now, the Tatas, in fact, and it was a bulletproof, so it was, even other people have bought it. In India, people have bought Range Rovers, which are, you know, bulletproof and all that. The question is that the parts which are coming from all over the world, you know, there are various parts, sensors, chips, other kinds of equipment, and this is where the Chinese part plays in, or any other manufacturer which is interested in, you know, in an activity like this. They would like to do it. Why not? That is the job of the intelligence agencies.
I was thinking, sir, in context of these surveillance cameras which are being imported from China and they are being maintained by intelligence and police, suppose they are turned against our security agencies?
Absolutely. In fact, this was already pointed out that some of the sensitive cameras which are there at sensitive locations should be absolutely cleaned out, in the sense that, you know, vetted, and it's absolutely important. And we are getting more and more stuff from China. In fact, this you know, aspect has been raised in the telephony part also, this telecom aspects. So many places the Chinese equipment are predominantly being supplied, and therefore some of the contracts have also been cancelled. This is the best part of intelligence snooping in the world today. It's safe, and absolutely deniability is there. And in this case, by the way, Karthikeya, they just couldn't find out till they virtually, you know, ripped apart the vehicle. Only then they could find out that this was embedded inside.
How do you tackle, counter these dual-use technologies which are required for civil infrastructure, and suddenly they can be weaponized by the Chinese? For example, CCTV cameras, or for example, you know, our electronic cars, for example, which are being used by so many people. But you know, they have geolocators. Cars have become software. Without a software upgrade, you will have a problem in those cars. Cars embedded with EV systems. And coming back to the real, I would say, the issue of security. Everyone has a mobile phone. Everyone can be tracked. Then how do you deal, how do you counter this from the security perspective?
Well, you would have seen that even the most advanced security setups have failed. Even the Iranians, the hits which took place, all this intelligence was gathered from the various CCTV, various mobiles.
Yes, sir. CCTV. Mushtaba Khamenei, Mushtaba Khamenei's father was actually targeted by using the local CCTV network, not through a human.
Absolutely. No, but the point is that there was a lot of human int also within Iran, which was sort of coordinating and helping out and ferreting out the information, giving out the locations, etc., etc. So, it's a tough job. And that's why, things like when people say that a particular defense complex should be here or there, it's actually in the eye of the satellites. It's available. So what you have to do is to develop robust, anti-systems. The biggest threat which is coming from the cyber area, for example, if you don't have a very strong, robust anti-cyber security setup against the threats, then all your other protection goes bust, because it can attack your core systems and finish it. This is an example of what has happened in Britain, which should be taken by all the countries very, very seriously.